Medical Lake residents can start returning home as all level 3 evacuations for the Gray Fire have been lifted.
Right now, just level 1 and 2 evacuations remain, but that means that people still need to be ready to evacuate again if conditions change. Since it started last Friday, the Gray Fire has burned more than 10,000 acres and destroyed more than 250 buildings. But we do know that it is now 25% contained. While damage cleanup has barely even started, Spokane County leaders say they are moving forward to recovery.
Today we were just talking about how do we have help with property tax relief for those people that their property values now have been diminished. And so we're looking at that. We're looking at what is the assistance that we can provide the Red Cross as people are trying to get out of the shelter and need to figure out how to get into some permanent housing.
Over the weekend, Washington Governor Jay Inslee declared a state of emergency for Spokane County. This allows federal resources to be used in cleanup and recovery efforts.
And happening tonight, there will be a public information meeting on the Gray Fire. Community members are invited to learn the latest updates on the Gray Fire at Medical Lake High School's auditorium. That's tonight at 7 p.m. We'll also have a crew at the meeting, so if you're unable to make it, be sure to tune in to KREM 2 News and our website, krem.com, for the latest details. Well, turning to the Oregon Road wildfire now, it is the largest wildfire in the state, burning more than 11,000 acres. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez live from Deer Park right now. And Nicole, you've been there all week. What's the very latest? Good morning.
So Tim, you said it, this fire burning is the largest in Washington state, and that's something that is shown in how many crews are here fighting this fire as well. This morning they just turned the lights on over a fire camp here behind me. Take a look, you can see just how many tents are lined up in this sports complex here, and this is just one half of the sports complex. There's even more tents lined up on the other side of the fields there. So over 600 crews here out fighting this fire. Good news, we know they were able to start working on containment yesterday, so we're hoping this morning we get an update as to how contained that fire is. Still, though, as of yesterday, 0% contained. Now, we did hear from the sheriff's office yesterday, as of course our fire crews are working to fight this fire. The sheriff's office and their deputies are working to keep the homes in the area and those level 3 evacuation areas safe. So they say that they've been patrolling the areas, making sure nobody's going in and burglarizing those houses, taking advantage of the fact that people are gone. They also said they've been working with connecting people with their loved ones. They say over the past few days they've had 24 reports of missing people or people that have not been able to come into contact with their loved ones. And since they've gotten those calls, they have been able to find each of those people and make sure that they are okay, which the good news is that they are okay here. But Sheriff John Knowles, while telling the community this yesterday in the daily community update meeting, he also explained to everybody why there's still these level 3 evacuations in place.
We have propane tanks that have 300 gallons of propane in them that are burning. So whether your house is safe or whether it's not, we can't let people back into those zones. We can't let people back into zones where we have down power lines that are dangerous. It takes time. Give us time to do that.
So we have, of course, been speaking with people at the evacuation center at Riverside High School for the past few days now. One thing that is just across the board, a lot of people don't even know if their house is okay at this point. In the update yesterday, we did hear crews explaining, the new team that kind of took over explained that this fire sparked on the north end of the map. If you look at the map, it's the northwest side of the fire where that fire sparked, and it burned very hot and quick up there. So that's where most of the buildings that were burned ended up. But then recently there's been more activity in the south end of the fire as that part of the fire didn't burn as wholly, so those hot spots have been able to re-spark and kind of continue burning in spots that didn't burn initially. So a lot going on here that crews are working to fight, of course, but they say that once they can move into this extended firefighting technique, less active flame management, more containment, that then they'll be able to start putting some crews on assessing damage and figuring out exactly what burned and how much burned in this fire. So hopefully in that update today we'll be able to learn a little bit more about that, but that is something everyone everyone here that is under these level 3 evacuations has been waiting for just information as to really how much burned and what exactly we lost here in this fire. This morning I have been in contact with the public information officer for the Pacific Northwest Team 3 who took over operations of this fire. At some point this morning they're going to get a debrief from overnight crews. They say as soon as they get that update they will bring us that information, and they'll of course bring that straight to you. In Deer Park, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.